If you're a marketer, consultant, business coach, life coach, or lawyer like myself, where you provide a service in exchange for someone paying you money for that time in some way, you want to make sure that the time you're putting in gets paid for. And there's a few tricks to maximize your chance of getting paid and some options on recourse. First thing you obviously want to have is an agreement in place that spells out everything in terms of the payments. When is it due? How much is due? What am I providing for you? And that way everyone knows what to expect. Two other important clauses I want you to have in your agreement. One is one that's about late fees. So after this date, late fees are incurred. The reason that's important is you want to create urgencies. If there's a clause that says that $1,000 becomes $1,100 next month, it increases the urgency to make sure that they're paying you. The second clause I want you to have in there is what's called a prevailing party clause or an attorney's fees clause. And that means if you have to hire an attorney to recover money owed, you get those attorney's fees back. The next kind of practical tip I would say is have an onboarding process that explains to your clients what you're doing, when you're doing, and when payment. So basically explain what's in the agreement. What this does is avoid a client from getting frustrated. Everyone assumes the worst. They assume you're not doing anything. Make sure they know what you're doing and when you're doing it. Give them, updates and communicate with them. Another thing that I highly, highly recommend is always get money up front, no matter what you're doing. And the reason is you need to know that that person values what you're doing, whether they say it or not, enough to actually hand the money over. They do these polls about product and they ask people, oh, will you buy this? And people always say, yeah, I'll buy this. They say they will buy it, but will they actually hand the money over for it? So now they try to do polls where they mimic the pre-order, and that's how you know whether people are gonna buy it. It can be the full project amount, it can be half of it, but get something meaningful, because that signals that they buy into the value that you're providing. And here's the main trick I would say, is make sure you're working with people that align with what you're providing them. I'll use the lawyers as an example. A lot of people want lawyers that are bulldogs. That is not my style of practicing law. We go firm when we need to, and we make strong arguments when we need to, but I am not unnecessarily unreasonable. I try to find solutions, trying to serve the business long-term. So I hope that helps set you up so that payments are not a problem for you. And then if you have those agreements in place, you've got recourse if they do become a problem. And if you don't have an agreement, I would go get one, draftedlegal.com. There's a link below that has all these clauses in there for you.